Hey guys, still here and welcome back to Transport Fever 2. It's episode 17. No, it's episode 18. My bad. Episode 18, and I still have to do a couple of tweaks to this map. I think I'm going to wrap the whole series up at around episode 20 and start a new one. Because at this point I've achieved pretty much all that I have wanted to achieve on this map. I've connected the whole world. That was one of my personal goals. People can go from any town to any other town as much as they would like. Might not always be too efficient, but they can do it. That's the most important part. In the previous episode, I was upgrading and adjusting the tools lines over here, the planks lines, the food lines. And between all of those together, St. Paul was able to go over 1,000 occupants, or residents. Right now, I'm not exactly at 1,000. I'm a little under, a little over. And we had our first big grain delivery over here from ship 2, or ship 46 to be exact. And with that, there should be a lot of food here, or grain, turned into food, and from there being taken to St. Paul, which is getting a decent supply of machines, but the amount of food over there could be further improved. The previous episode I also set up this open area over here, so hopefully we're going to see a bit more over here being built. And in the meanwhile, I want to focus on my other bigger towns. New York City and Erie. Erie is also approaching about 1,000. And this new area that I had set up a few episodes ago, it is being used. And it's being used a lot. The whole area that I had created for them has now been completely built in. Now that might mean that Erie's tram connections are not as good as they once were. Because these lines were set up when the town extended to here, not all the way over there to there. I want to keep these basic lines as they are, but I might just venture out a little further, and I already have the station set up for that. I just removed the line at some point. And that is because, as you guys had pointed out, my mistake, because I didn't electrify all the stations, and that's where the trams weren't going anywhere. And then hit that one. So once again, the Erie suburbs line. Tram. Let's check if everything has been upgraded. I assume it has not. Yep, there you go. Okay, my depot has been dug in here somewhere. Let's make that the Urbos, because it's fairly big. Oh, I have 2 of them. I don't know exactly why you are still here. The suburbs of Erie. That should make the people over here a little happier, because they don't have to walk all the way over there to actually get to a tram. And these things are covering quite a bit, but they're not covering these waterfront properties. So that should make it a little easier for these people to get around, and also add more demand for my lines over here. Now Erie, I think, doesn't have any further room to grow at this point. So it is up to me to make sure that they have. Raise the terrain. And actually no, maybe smoothen it, or what was it? That just smooths it, right? Yep, raising it. I want to see if I can build a whole new suburb over here. Insofar as you can still call that a suburb. Because after having St. Paul at 1,000 residents, I want to see if I can do the same thing for Erie. Game's starting to stutter a little bit. I guess it doesn't like this that much. All of this terraforming. Come on. Work with me here. And connect that here. Just completely absorb that lake. Although, actually, that might make for an interesting bit of waterfront property, having access to a lake. Hold on. Can I smoothen that a little bit? So we still have something that resembles a beach over here. And then I could also just make another urban area over there. Alright, let's get to building. We are now playing Sim City instead of Transport Fever. Let's go with a large street and then a couple of smaller streets that are coming out from that. A bit more. I don't want to have these large streets coming into the waterfront too much. Why? Why are you removing those buildings? I'm just trying to build. Whoa! Game. Hold up. I'm trying to build something here. I don't need your assistance. Alright. Let's just do it. Okay, then. I want them to be building close to the waterfront like they're doing here. So I need to have, I think, a small street that runs along here. So that they can still build in those little areas. That might be a little wide. What? Where are you removing buildings? There are no buildings. And just connect that here. I'll have a medium street connecting these things together. And another medium street connecting this together. And then we can have another road like... Or maybe just let the game fill it in. If they want to. Now, I will adjust the suburbs line a bit. Because these technically are also part of the suburbs. Or the new suburbs. The Erie suburbs tram. I did send it right through the middle of town, but that's going to change. After Taylor Street, I want you to go west, Woodland, Jackson, and then back to Holt. And now the game is going, oh no, I can't get there. Yeah, you are correct. You cannot get there. And I will work on that right now. There, now you should be all happy. Yep, now it's happy. Good, so now I can actually get there and connect everything up. So Erie's currently at 793. They're getting some fuel, they're getting a decent supply of tools, but I think I could up this even more. What do I need to up the supplies for tools? Planks are not the problem. I think I'm not shipping enough. Double that. Because there is definitely a good supply of planks over here, but we're not turning it into consumed stuff fast enough. So hopefully this will help. What they're then going to need is a greater supply of planks. Whoa! Why am I bringing tools over here? Or... who is bringing tools over here? The construction airline? Right. So you're stealing my tools from New York City. Right. That's not supposed to happen. This is the Stanford Planks line. That's not the culprit. It's the other one. You. Appreciate your enthusiasm, but this is not quite what I had in mind. New York City transfer. Over here. I only want you to pick up the construction materials. Oh, this is new. This slider wasn't here before. No, load everything. Just that. Just the construction materials. Don't load the tools. The tools are not supposed to be transported here. Because I think that what's happening right now is that this ship is also... Yep, it's trying to ship tools. Yeah, I think I understand what's going on here. The tools are being produced over here. The ship then tries to ship them back here, and the airline takes them from this place back to New York. Because it's still trying to steal my tools. The tools are not being stolen from New York. The tools are being stolen from Stamford. And by proxy, from Erie. Because Stamford doesn't care about tools anyway. So this managed line is in Stamford Central only supposed to be offloading stuff, like the construction materials. It's not supposed to be loading these tools. The tools are strictly meant for Erie. Now I wonder what this ship is going to do. Because it cannot very well drop them off here, since they're no longer being accepted. What are you going to do? You're selling them off. Right, so I have 105 tools currently being produced or shipped here. But you're not supposed to transport those in the first place. See, the more complex your network grows, the more you might have to face issues like these. New York sightings, I want you to only load and not unload. And we are only going to load... Let's pause that before the game goes haywire. I only want you to load planks. No, not there. That's Stamford sightings. I want you to unload there. Not load. Over here, I only want you to load. And not everything, just the planks. That way, there is not going to be a demand over here for tools. Here are the planks. Cha-ching. Planks are being delivered here. How many planks are being produced over... Where was that? In Concord? 91. Okay. Increase that. I already used... What was that? The Tupolev? Yeah, the Tupolevs. Give me another one. Aircraft 16. Because there is such a supply over here that it's going to waste. And besides, this line seems to be making me plenty of money anyway. 7.4 million, give or take. 6.4 because it just got a whole deduction probably from this plane. Alright, so with that, there should be more planks being delivered here. Potentially so much so that the planks are not going to be fitting onto this one ship. Okay, it has been emptied. More planks are being delivered here. Consumption rate's going up. Shipping rate seems to be going up as well. So much so that this truck is actually running almost empty. That's not good. 87 current. I think we're going to see the supply of tools over here just completely nullify. It's just going to go to 0. You're transporting 14 tools, very good. Yeah, we're now using a lot of planks. Probably faster than we can ship it. There's 216 waiting for me there. I cannot transport that many. Just duplicate that. 216, and there's another aircraft coming in with another 50 planks. Right. Alright, back to this airport. There's 61 waiting. There's an aircraft coming in to pick them up. And we are bringing more planks in here. And once again, we're running into trouble because the forest is producing as much as it possibly can. The other forest is not yet being used. So I could tie this one into the planks factory as well. And that should speed along the production quite a bit. Upgrade the roads. I want these to be country roads. Large country roads, in fact. Oh, right, that was a tunnel. Yeah, that's not going to fit. I need you to go down very quickly. Okay, now I can set up my truck stop here. They're going to be coming in one way, they're going to be coming out the other way. Nah, it doesn't really matter. Start here. And go there. Concord logs to sawmill 2. Very creative. Now there was a road depot here. I'll just take a couple of these siding trucks. Or side stakes trucks. More. Concord sawmill 2. That might mean there's going to be a lot more planks to ship. Which means more planes. Which means potentially even more shipping. So another ship is going to be added over here. Look at that. This one is loaded up with 175. And this one is also loaded up with 175. It is about to hit the dock. That's a good timing because this factory is now empty. And by the time that that ship comes back, there might be more planks waiting here. Another 175 because there's another aircraft. Only carrying 15 though. Okay, so I need to be upgrading the supply over here of planks. There's 87 waiting. One thing that I would like to see added to the game is a way to have a bigger truck or freight capability at your aircraft, airfields. Because what's happening now is that you can upgrade truck stops. You can upgrade train stations. You can upgrade docks to some extent by switching the small harbor to the bigger harbor. And then once you're doing that, you can, I think, fit more onto the pier. But with airfields, well, I haven't figured out how to yet. I don't believe that feature is in the game. Now, one thing I like about the game is you can actually see these things being loaded in. You can see that the hatch, I think, on the side of the aircraft is going to open up. And you're going to see the planks disappear. Because we got a whole lot of planks shipped here. Or ready to ready to be transported. Yep, there it is. It looks a little empty at this point. There, you can see them being loaded in. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? That's attention to detail right there. More planks, more planes, more money. Because these lines are making me a decent amount of money at this point, I think. Yeah, exactly. Minus 57,000. That's not what I was expecting to say. There's still some tools over there, but that's the remnant of a line. So we had 87 tools being shipped to Erie, and now we're at 138. Very good. Now, I'm not yet seeing any further population growth over here. But that might be because they're upgrading the buildings in the middle of town first. The commercial buildings. Jeez, that thing just keeps going up. 48 shopping facilities with 37 vacant. Supply rating is currently 0 because they need more tools. Yeah, as you can see, shopping facilities are definitely more popular than workplaces and residents. Ah, the game's building roads. Okay. Suburbs tram is running negative, but that's fine. Consider it an investment in the future growth of Erie. Alright, back to New York. Sorry, St. Paul. What's St. Paul doing? Because St. Paul also got another neighborhood from me, but is not currently using it. Alright. St. Paul, 1066. Very good. Alright, what else would I want to do with this particular map? Aside from growing this town even more, Erie, I think I might be able to give New York a bit more space. Because right now it is, well, it's stagnant. The supply rating could also go a lot better. There needs to be more tools. There needs to be a lot more fuel. What's the bottleneck? The crude supply. That one. I think it's time to also start tying this oil well in. If this gets more supply, then there can be more workplaces. So that's the industrial amount. And that should further increase the growth of that town. Right. How many of these terminals am I using? 3 out of 2. Now, one thing I haven't found out yet in this game is how you can build one of those larger areas between the two terminals, or, well, however many terminals you're using. Okay, this one's going to get tied directly into the underground, because I had a tunnel which was going under New York. From here to there. Construction not possible. That's not surprising because you're in very, very deep. Construction not possible. Construction not possible. There you go. Construction possible. Because what I want to do now is set up a new line. That hopefully... Oh, the oil well isn't connected. Okay. So now it's getting connected. Yeah, good. Now it's covered. Alright, we're going to start over... Whoops. Start over here. And we're going to drop it off all the way over here. They are taking the tunnel, the second pit of the tunnel. Perfect. NYC crude supply 2. Terminals. You're all using the same terminal, people. Crude supply 2. I want you on terminal 1. Give me another exit/entry point. And tie that in. Terminals 2 and 3 are being used here. I want you in terminal 2. Okay. Crude supply is going in like that and out like that. Perfect. That way they shouldn't be interfering with each other too much. Alright, add the vehicles. Bring on the trucks. These are going to be large tanker trucks. The G-Fang J6P tank truck. I'll take 6. New York City crude supply 2. That should up the amount that this thing is getting. And that should also up the... Look at this. It's a parade. That should also up the amount that's going from here to there to the fuel refinery, and from the fuel refinery back into New York City. I just might not have enough terminals over here. Nope. We're going to be starting to run interference. Cargo. Let's just make it 4 wide while I'm at it, because that's easier with the road connection. Nope, construction not possible, construction not... No, I cannot extend it any further. Alright, straight access over there. And then set up a medium country road like that. What terminals are we using? Everybody's hogging this terminal. I want the crude line to go to terminal 4. And that's because then they can pass through here, drop it off over there, and immediately be out. That's the plan. Alright, back to the oil well. Where there is a bit of crude being produced. But all of these trucks are arriving pretty much at the same time. And this thing is still trying to ramp up production. So the problem is that right now it is trying to ramp up production as much as it can, but it's being drained faster by these vehicles, as they all arrived at the same time. So soon that should no longer be a problem. And soon there should be a decent supply over here. 35, 36, yeah, it's going to be 50 and then 100 soon. And with that, more drop off over here. This is the first supply for the crude. Looks like a fairly busy freight terminal over here. Yeah, you may leave now. There you go. Which one was supplying New York again? That's crude. Hold up, why am I using these vehicles for crude? So they're not bad, but they're already fairly expensive at 152,000. Replace everything. Because these run... Well, these run more expensive. But they also produce less emissions. Just upgrade it. I might have too many of them at this point, though. There, New York Fuel. Transporting 24 oil to the refinery. Which is not polluting anything whatsoever. I was near Rotterdam, where I live, yesterday, and it's the biggest irony over there, because near Rotterdam, or Europort as we call it, we have this massive industrial area. It spans over kilometers and kilometers. There's refineries as far as the eye can see. And right next to one of the big refineries from Shell, there's a botanical gardens. I mean, oh, the irony. Why the hell would you build a botanical gardens right next to a refinery? It just doesn't really make sense. Okay, how much are we shipping? We're shipping a decent amount. It's getting a little hard to figure out what's what at this point. New York crude supply 2. I want all of these. Or rather, I need to do that vehicle by vehicle, don't I? No, I don't. Let's make those as dark as possible. And then these ones. That's the other crude line. Select all. Paint. You're also a dark color scheme because you're dropping it off. And then the New York fuel supply. I want these to be in a distinct color so I can have a bit of an easier time figuring out what's what. Oh, that doesn't look too pretty, but... Yeah, there you go. It can transport 36. It is transporting 30. And it's upgrading. The oil refinery is now getting such a supply that it is actually upgrading. Good, because that means that New York is going to be getting more fuel. But it is not the only fuel consumer. There is also the ship that's going to Erie. That fuel ship that is operating somewhere. There. Just dropped off another 200 fuel in Erie. Which Erie should be quite happy with. Erie's 845. Look at that! This said 86 not too long ago. And now it's saying 228, 229. Very good. How are we doing for blanks? 108. I think that the airport might now be the bottleneck. No, not that airport. This airport. No, we're not transporting enough. Yeah, it's the airport. So hopefully this should fix that, and once again get more and more supplies to Erie. 847, almost at 1,000. New York City, 105, and it's growing again. There is a lot of fuel over here. So much so that I probably cannot even keep up with it. Ah, good. Fuel refinery is about to hit stage 4. That's how much we're supplying of it and demanding of it. Never actually seen a stage 4 fuel refinery before. What's the upgrade look for that? There's a good amount of oil supplied here currently. Consumption's really high. There's just 10 fuel? Let me guess, everything else is going to Erie. Alright, it's been upgraded. I don't really see that much of a change here. What we're doing over here? Yeah, that was already upgraded. Yeah, there we go. 123, 124, 70%. Now the big question is, how are you going to grow, my dear New York? Because there's not a whole lot of room for you to grow. They're growing around the train station. They're growing this way. Well, that's nice and everything, but I don't really want them to grow that way. I want them to grow this way. So let's raise the terrain. And also give New York another area. Now, I know that this looks atrocious, but don't worry, I'm going to be fixing that later. For now, I just need to make sure that I have terrain that I can work with, and then I can smoothen it later. Here, like that, and a bit like that. Also save kicking in. Flatten that. Alright, smoothen it. Alright, so that should give New York a bit more room to grow. Set up some lines, or roads rather. Careful not to tie that into the tunnel. I can immediately keep the tram, by the way. That'll make installing additional tram lines easier in the future. Not sure if I... No. There's a building in the way there. I was hoping to tie that together, but I don't think I can without removing any buildings. Whoops. There. But I might be... Oh! The game is actually using it already. That's fast. Upgrade, tram tracks, done. New York City. 133. 516. One final look at Erie before I close up the episode. 867. Tools are still going up and down. I think the next bottleneck might be this. I'm not shipping enough. Nope. That's the problem. I'm not shipping enough. Alright, so buy a few more vehicles. 2 more should do it. There's another 111 planks coming in. Right in time, as we're running out of planks here. And the other ship should be getting another fresh supply very soon. Alright, things are coming along nicely. Next episode, I want to be looking at the airlines again, because it's something I haven't done in quite a while. And over here, it looks like it's fairly busy, from New York City to New Haven. Or at least it was a couple of episodes ago. Anyway, I'll look into that in a future episode. For now, thank you for watching. Hope you're enjoying the episode so far. This was episode 18, and once again I'm going to go to episode 20 for this series and then call it close. Because then I think I will have accomplished everything that I want to accomplish. So join me in episode 19, and if you have any grand ideas for the last episode beside 19, then let me know down below in the comments, and I shall see what I can do. See you then.